watching another episode of Creative Writing Advice. If you don't know me, I'm JJ. I am the author of How to Write a Story, which is out now on Amazon. I also have other books that are out, as well as a film and a TV show in production, and I'm over here on YouTube usually doing writing advice. My standard videos, I take a storycraft idea or a writing technique or an aspect of characterization, I break it down, I analyse it, I use references from pop culture, books, film, TV, things like that, to grow it and explain it and demonstrate to you how you can use that technique in your own story and what it will do for your story. Last week, however, I did an experimental video, shall we call it that, where I said to send me on social media and on Ask FM different questions, short, quick-fire questions. My intention was to try and get through a whole ton of them in one video rather than doing a deep dive, cover a bunch of different questions. And I said in that video that if it didn't go well, or if you guys didn't like it or weren't interested, then I just wouldn't do it again, and that was fine. Since that video came out a week ago, I have had a lot of questions sent, and yeah, I think you guys liked it because yeah, my little bag that I used last week had like a handful of questions in that I got when I first said I was going to do that. This week I'm not going to be able to do all of them. I'm just not. It's not possible. You guys sent me a lot and I can't get through them all in one video, or this video is going to be hours and hours long. So what I'm going to do is, you guys make me laugh because this isn't what I thought would happen. I didn't think you guys would like that video so much. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is just go through a few of them. I'm going to select them at random again. They're all in here. I'll select a few like individually at random, and I'll save any that are left for another video. Yeah, so we'll see what happens, and hopefully I give you answers that again will entertain you or interest you. I do try and reference writing where it's relevant and possible, or if the question is directly about writing, because that is my frame of reference for most things, stories. But if it's not possible, I will just answer as best I can, and yeah, so we will go. Okay, so question number 1. What is the appropriate age for marriage? Let me see. My first marriage, I got married at 26. I feel I was too young. I'm divorced, so I don't think I was mature enough to make that decision, because I made the wrong decision. That marriage wasn't for me, or him. So I feel I was too young at 26. But then everybody's different. I personally, my advice based on my experience of life would be, don't rush into a marriage, because it complicates things and relationships break up all the time. A lot of my friends are also divorced, because I think when you're young and before you've developed a real cynical side, you kind of have all this hope and belief that this one is the right one, and time proves you wrong a lot. So I don't think there's a definite answer to this. I don't think there is a appropriate age for marriage, but I do think the younger you are, the longer you should give your relationship before you get married. But that's just based on my life, and if you guys are like really young and you're a couple of months into your marriage and into your relationship and want to get married, then there are plenty of cases throughout time where relationships like that work. So for me, I would say aim to be late 20s to early 30s at the earliest, but that's just me. I might be wrong, so I'll go again. What is your favourite quote? Lord. My favourite quote. From anything? I mean, from a song or from a book or... Huh. Oh my gosh, I have so many in my head right now. I have so many films and books and songs. Oh my god, this might sound like a really simple question, but it is not, because there's so many. I'm just swamped. My favourite quote. My favourite quote. There's no... I mean, this is from a world of story and art and creativity, and there's so many potentials. I mean, okay, I have to just focus, because this is why these videos end up taking so long, because you ask me questions that make me think so much and I don't have a prepared... My favourite quote. Okay, I will go with a song that my mother brought me up on and gave me lots of sort of feminism lectures from, and I will go with a song lyric from I Am Woman by Helen Reddy. And oh, but then which one? Oh my gosh, now I'm having it's a beautiful song with so much. Okay, I will go with this song lyric because I think it is relevant to how I feel about women. Yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Yes, I've paid a price, but look how much I've gained. If I had to, I can do anything. I am strong, I am invincible, I am woman. To the next question. What's on your mind? I mean, coronavirus. I worry about my kids in school. They're going to get sick. Where I'm going to walk my dog today, because I like to walk my dog. The script I'm working on. I've got lots of ideas and things I've got to do with my script. All sorts, really. My mind is always full of a lot. So, yeah. I mean... pretty much that will sum it up, I think. I mean, you might have been hoping for something more poetic, but just life stuff. My head is always full of a lot of life stuff. Okay. What's an animal you've always wanted as a pet? I can demonstrate this one right now, because look, who is asleep here? Hi. I always like cats. I also always like dogs, but the dog's downstairs. So, I always wanted cats. My children want dinosaurs. But I've said no. We haven't got the space for a dinosaur. Okay. What was the last lie that you told? I can't tell you that. I couldn't possibly tell you that. What if the person I lied to is watching this video? Not that I lie all the time. I swear I'm a very good person, mostly. But sometimes lies must be for kindness lies. Kindness lies. And I wouldn't want to reveal that because then it ruins it. So, shush, none of your business. What fashion brand can you not live without? Okay, if you've watched these videos, I do not have a particularly fashionable style. I don't have a fashion brand that I couldn't live without. Most of my clothes either come from eBay or charity shops, so I like to sort of recycle, so I wear secondhand a lot because I don't like to always buy new, because I think there are a lot of clothes that get discarded and are perfectly good and it's a waste. So I do not have a fashion brand I am particularly loyal to because I do recycle. However, I mean, saying that, I do happen to love Hell Bunny. I just very rarely wear or buy Hell Bunny because, as I say, I recycle clothes a lot. Everything I'm wearing is secondhand, so I'm really not a fashion person. I love clothes and I love to wear clothes I'm comfy in and I think look nice, but I'm not a fashion model-y person. Apparently I think fashion-y model-y people do this, just ignore me. Okay. How much does your love cost? My love isn't for sale. Weird. Very weird. Okay. Dream holiday. Oh no, this is one I can answer without being all like suspicious. Okay, so my dream holiday. At the minute, we are dying to go to Sandals in Jamaica, which might sound really random, but we watched The Office, you know, with Michael Scott and Dwight, and Michael Scott takes Jan to Sandals, Jamaica, and we have looked it up online and it just looks so beautiful and there's gorgeous and so much beautiful beaches and lovely food and drinks and sunshine and oh, we really want to go to Sandals, Jamaica. I also love New York. I've only been once. My mom took me to New York for my 21st birthday, which was like incredible, and I had an amazing time, and I love New York City, and I want to go back, so absolutely New York. I also love the south of Spain. I adore the south of Spain. I love it down there. It's gorgeous. Yeah. Oh, I'm dying to go to Hawaii. I'd love to see Hawaii. I love Lost, the TV show Lost, and since I completely fell in love with that TV show, I've wanted to go to Hawaii. So yes, those are that's 4 answers. My one dream, I'd pick Sandals, Jamaica, just because that's where we're idolizing at the minute, in a sort of, if we ever are successful and make it big and do well and our careers sort of go where we want them to go and we have disposable income enough for such things, then I would like to go to Sandals, Jamaica. That is my dream. I'm not going to do too many more of these. I've done a whole bunch. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be now. You guys crack me up. Okay. Do you watch Friends? Yes, I do. I grew up loving Friends. Loving Friends. And I can quote it. See, I could have used that for the favourite quote question in a bunch of them, but I can quote it and I know all the songs, the smelly cat and all of that, and I love all the characters and I know it really, really well, and I've done Friends quizzes, and yes, I do. I like Friends very much. Okay. This is a funny question. What's the greatest thing in the world besides food? Besides food? I can't pick food. Whoever said this is funny because you must know how much I like to eat. The greatest thing in the world besides food is this thing, so I can't really pick my family because they're not things. I mean, sometimes the kids are kind of thing-like, but I'm assuming you don't mean people. Greatest thing in the world besides food. Stories. Stories are the greatest thing in the world besides food. Movies and books and TV shows. Yes, that's my answer. Besides food. Okay. What name would you give your son? If I had a son, I would name him Theo or William. Theo or William, I think. Or Alexander. Theo. Okay. If you had $5 left in your pocket, what would you spend it on? Well, I assume if I have $5, I'm in America. If I'm here, then $5 would be useless to me. If I was in America, if I have $5 or £5, say £5 so I can stay here because it makes more sense. If I have £5 left in my pocket, what would I buy? I would pay taxi fare to go to my mum's house and be like, clearly I'm destitute and in need of help, Mummy. Help. Because I'm very mature and grown up. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more. Okay. How easy is it to keep the continuity straight when writing different stories in the same universe? So, to answer this question, I'm going to move over to the side and introduce Jonathan McKinney. Ta-da! So, Jonathan McKinney.
Hi.
We write different stories in the same universe.
Yes, yes.
And we have to track each other's continuity and magical lore. And characters will cross over between his stories into our, like my stories. Then we are writing stories in both books and film.
Yes.
And TV universes, and they're all the same world. So, how easy do you find it to keep continuity straight when we are writing so many different stories with different things going on, but all in the same universe?
Okay, how easy do I find it?
Yes.
I find it quite easy to share the world building with you.
Yeah.
We tend to simply, like all sort of urban fantasy settings where it's our world, but there's magic, so you've got vampires and witches and demons and all of the other things. Any story sort of or series of stories with that setting tends to define itself.
I agree. Also, if we do decide we're going to do so, when you decided to do Unholy Water, we had Unholy Water had an area of our world that I had created but not fully mined. So because John was going to really develop that area of the universe that I had initiated but not grown.
So let's describe what that is. So
okay,
it's a magical realm, if you like.
An underworld, but not underworld. It's a separate sort of it's magical dimension.
Yeah, and it sort of mirrors what our world is like in a kind of grim...
Yeah, it's a dark version, sort of a dark and twisted version of our world that you can access through magical means that is underneath our world.
Yeah, a good reference to understand this is Narnia, or Alice in Wonderland, or any of those sort of
exactly.
styles.
But I had in Emerald Wren and the Coven of Seven mentioned it. It's called The Depths, and I'd had a character unavailable to contact because she was in that place. Intending to grow it at some point myself or leave it open, and John picked that up. So when John was going to write about that area and in more detail and just exploring it more, it meant we then had a conversation and we're like, okay, so let's really define it. Let's really make sure that we are both clear on what this place is. Say when we had vampires come into stories, okay, we need to, if vampires are going to appear in one of our stories, like they do, we both have to be on board, on the same page about what the vampires can do, what can harm them, what they are like, their personalities, things like that, so that we can both understand it.
Yeah, and also so that the audience has a consistent experience.
Exactly, because the continuity when you are sharing a universe is important.
Right. So yeah, in the case of vampires, the questions are how do you kill them, where'd they come from, though we might not necessarily want to explore that in the storytelling, but yeah, certainly how you kill them, what they can do, and also what kind of personalities are they, like what kind of metaphysical creatures are they,
because there's so many kinds of vampires in different stories. You've got to be clear which one you're doing.
You get romantic vampires very often, and you get sort of evil soulless demons in fiction as well, so you have to kind of decide once and for all what you're going to depict, because once you've chosen something, you kind of have to stick to it. The good thing about people, and this applies to evil monsters in stories, because they are essentially still characters, they reflect humans metaphorically, is that they are unpredictable, which gives you the chance to diverge from what you've established, as long as you do it carefully and with what you've written in mind. Because can I talk about Buffy?
Go ahead.
So it's established early on that they are, the vampires in Buffy the Vampire Slayer are soulless, evil monsters who are incapable of being redeemed, incapable of doing anything good. And in the first season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that's consistently shown.
There is no divergence from that.
Yeah,
as long as there's no soul.
There's no humanity in them, essentially. And yeah, they create the ripple with the soul that Angel, who is a vampire, but he was given his soul, and therefore he's just like us. He's a person capable of being good. In season 2 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they introduced the character Spike, who is a soulless vampire but has humanity in him, and so does Drusilla.
Exactly,
so
their love for each other slightly.
It muddies
the soulless monster area.
It kind of makes you wonder whether it's entirely morally sound to slaughter them as a species, because
if they're capable of love.
Yeah, that's what Buffy's job is. She is a vampire slayer. She's the hero. That's why you kind of need the vampires to be evil so that she is good.
Yeah.
For literally executing them.
Otherwise, then your story continuity gets a bit wobbly, and you'll have to try and fit in around it.
Yeah, but the good thing is you explore that space because people are unpredictable.
Yeah.
And that's fine as long as you remember that you've established what you've established and can address it in the storytelling, because the audience is going to know.
Yes, I agree, and I think that is important. If we do something that is slightly outside of the planned world that we've originally built, if we are going to explore something slightly different, we both have to know it's going to happen and then address it, discuss it in the story so that it makes sense still.
Yeah, so for example, vampires in our world are depicted as being sort of not necessarily soulless, because we haven't really
we haven't done
created souls or played with souls, but they are sort of so hungry essentially that they kind of compromise any sense of moral compass in pursuit of human blood, so they become the equivalent of soulless monsters, but they're not. So you can explore vampires having guilt and having feelings, but we wouldn't. If one of us was going to write a vampire who was like Angel or Edward Cullen, or like just basically a good person who was completely in control of their bloodlust, it would create a problem, but not necessarily an insurmountable one.
It'd be something that we would have to then develop in that universe and grow.
Yeah, you'd have to explore the question of, is it wrong to just kill them on sight? So,
that is how easy or tricky it is to I mean, it sounds quite now we've sort of like gone into a lot of detail about the ramifications of going off book and stuff, but it is,
for us, it's easy because we live together.
We live together, we work together, we talk about everything we're doing all the time.
Yeah, if you're world building with a set of writers in a creative
that
space,
I think would be much harder.
Yeah, that's when you'd have your big Bible full of facts and details.
You couldn't go off book because then it would have ramifications across so many different people and so many different stories. So thank you very much for guest answering with me, Jonathan McKinney.
You're very welcome.
I'm gonna go like this.
And am I gonna
You're gonna vanish.
Okay.
Bye! Okay, so I had to do one more, and then this is going to be a really long video. So, one more. Okay. What would be your gift to me when I get married? Matching champagne flutes with your names on, so you can have a nice classy celebration. So I still have a massive bag full of questions. What I'll do is, if I get any more, I'll just add them to the bag, and if I don't, then I'll either do another video or I finish answering these questions, or if you don't want me to do another one of these videos because of my random babbling is just not working for you, just let me know, and I don't have to do any more questions. But if you like hearing me answer these questions and you're interested in what I've got to say and my guest appearance, Jonathan McKinney, let me know and I will keep going, and I will just do one of these a week, and then the other 2 videos that I do, I'll go back to doing the traditional things where I take apart a story concept or some writing advice, something like that, and grow it and develop it, and hopefully help you become a better and more confident writer. So yeah, subscribe to this channel, drop me a comment, let me know any questions you want me to answer, or if you want me to shut up and get back to stories, let me know that too, and I will be back again soon. Thank you very much. Bye.